So starting in that comfortable position on your spine, legs long on the mat, toes out, heels in. Inner legs spiraling up towards the ceiling. Your hips are heavy and planted into the ground. Maybe shimmy around a bit, removing some flesh from underneath you, just so you can feel fully supported here. And then moving your shoulders down and away from your ears, extending long in your arms. Palms facing up towards the ceiling, fingertips curling slightly inwards. Taking a few exhales out of the mouth. Beginning to release some residual tension from the day. Starting to let go of some of those stories. And then relaxing the face, closing the eyes, letting the jaw hang slack, smoothing the forehead, and allowing the eyes to rest heavy in their socket. Returning to a natural breathing pattern, in and out of the nose. Not trying to change it in any way, just noticing it and acknowledging it for where it is. Noticing if the breath is shallow, if it's deep. Noticing those areas in your body that the breath might become a little bit stuck. And also noticing those areas where it flows freely. Laying here with your breath, sinking deeper into the foam of your mat with each exhale. Melting further into this moment, into your body, and into awareness. And then we'll bring our attention to our physical bodies and just start to begin to take notice, take inventory of how you're feeling physically today. So working your way through from the crown of your head all the way down to your toes at your own pace. Bring your undivided attention to each individual body part. Again, noticing where in your body are you holding that tension and where in your body is feeling particularly good today. Pausing at those areas that need a little bit of extra attention. Sending the breath there. Breathing through any discomfort. Starting to listen to the language of your body. And then we'll bring our attention to our pelvic region, to our hips, our root chakra, and just rest our attention there. Noticing where in the hips feels good, where feels tight, what you're feeling here, and maybe even why. knowing that the hips are holding ground for many different emotions. And so moving through your hip opening practice, old thoughts, old patterns, old emotions may arise. And when they do, if they do, acknowledge them. And then start to let them go on the exhales. Creating more space for what you would like to cultivate. More space for flow and for ease. Breathing here. Focus on that inhale and exhale. Breathing into your low belly, feeling it rise, and then feeling it contract on the exhale. And then we'll bring our attention now to our emotional bodies, to our heart space, our heart center, heart chakra. And just begin to notice how we're feeling emotionally in this moment. Maybe noticing what we've brought onto the mat today. Noticing what stories we are telling ourselves, what thoughts are repeating, and what those are trying to tell us. Letting go of some of those heavier emotions on the exhale. And then inhaling more of those lighter emotions. Filling yourself with light on the inhale. And now just bring to mind an intention, something you might like to focus on throughout the rest of your practice. Something that can help connect you back to your body, back to your breath if you feel your mind start to wander. And then from here, we'll start to deepen through inhales and exhales as we start to bring our attention back to our physical body. Awakening to the room, to the space your body occupies on your mat. And then start to bring some movement into fingers and toes. And then into wrists and ankles. Rocking the head from side to side, massaging out the back of the skull. Maybe running the tongue along the tops of the teeth. Maybe swallowing once or twice. And then we'll pause here, bring the hands down by the hips, plant the soles of your feet into the mat, a little wider than hip width distance apart, and slowly start to windshield wiper your knees from side to side, not necessarily making it to the ground on every side, but just moving slowly and being guided by the sensation. And then the next time our knees come up to center, we'll pause. Inhale, bring the knees in towards the chest, give them a big squeeze. Exhale, release the knees and let go. Inhale, knees into chest, bring the forehead up towards your knees, big squeeze. Exhale, head, neck, and shoulders come down and let go. Deep breath in, bring your forehead up towards your knees, grab onto the soles of your feet, and land in a small ball, holding here. Breathing in and out of your nose and noticing how this makes your breath feel. Maybe it feels a little bit more stagnant with your diaphragm contracted. And then exhale, release the feet, release the head, neck, and shoulders down towards the mat. Plant your palms beside your hips. Inhale, eliminate all space between your low back and the mat. And exhale to lift your hips up into the air, coming into a bridge pose. Deep breath in and exhale. Deep breath in and exhale. Hips come down to the ground. Wrap the knees in towards the chest, grabbing onto opposite knees. Push those knees away from you, splitting them at the bottom, and then bringing them towards your armpits and outer rib cage and back together. Making two big circles with the knees here. Moving at your own pace. And then switching directions. Really starting to feel into those hip joints. And then we'll bring the knees back into center, plant the feet on the floor about hip width distance apart, plant your palms beside your hips. Inhale, eliminate all space between your low back and the mat, and exhale to lift your hips up into the air. If it's for you, roll your shoulders underneath you, grasping onto your fingertips and opening up through that front side of the body. Find ease in your breath. Really pushing up with those thighs, trying to let go of those glutes. And then inhale to lift your right leg up into the air. Breathing in and out of the nose. Release your hands from underneath your hips. Keep your hips elevated. And then cross your right ankle over top of your left knee, pointing your right knee out to the right side. Keep your hips lifted. And then exhale to lower your hips down to the ground. Inhale, pull that left knee in towards your torso. And hold here, pushing out right knee with right elbow. Deep breath in, pull that thigh a little bit closer. And then exhale to allow the left foot to find the ground. Shimmy onto your left hip and drop the outside of your left leg onto the mat, tucking that heel in towards the glute. And then bring your right knee over top of your body to the left side, grounding your right knee down with the left hand and maybe grabbing onto that left foot with the right hand. Coming into our cattail twist here. Focusing on sensation rather than how the posture looks. And then release the foot and bring the knees back into center. Tuck them both into the chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. And then ground both feet onto the mat, planting your palms beside your hips. Inhale to eliminate all space between your low back and the mat. And exhale, lift your hips up into the air, bridge pose. Rolling your shoulders underneath you and grabbing onto opposite hands here. Interlacing those fingers underneath your low back. Let go of your glutes and really squeeze up with your thighs here. Opening up through the front side body. Finding ease in your breath. Each movement intentional. An opportunity to go deeper inwards. And then press through the right sole of your foot and lift your left leg up into the air, flexing those toes towards your face. Lift your hips up high and hold here. And then slowly cross left ankle over right. Release the palms from underneath you. Press up with those hips. Keep them elevated. Pointing left knee out to the left side. And then exhale to lower those hips down to the ground. Inhale, pull right thigh towards you. And guide your left knee out with your left elbow. Encouraging closed eyes here as we loosen the hips. We may unlock some emotions. So just allow yourself to be present to everything that comes up for you. Pull that knee in a little bit closer. And then exhale, right foot finds the ground. Shimmy onto your right hip. Drop the outside of your right leg to the mat. Pull your left knee over to the right side and grab onto your right foot with the left hand. Right hand rests on top of left knee. Coming into your cattail stretch on the other side. Noticing if one side invites more depth. Maybe one side is tighter. Just becoming aware of your awareness of the body. And then we'll release the foot, release the knee, bring those knees back up to center, tuck them into the chest, give yourself a big squeeze. Plant the feet on the ground and then roll over onto your favorite side, resting your head onto your upper arm and tucking your knees in towards your chest. Taking a moment here to connect back with your breath, maybe with that intention. And then slowly pushing yourself up into a seated position on your mat. Bring the soles of the feet together, knees come wide, preparing for your butterfly posture. Grab onto your feet, inhale to grow tall through your chest, and then exhale to lead with your heart down towards the ground. When you can't go any further, start to round your spine and tuck your forehead towards your toes. Breathing, maybe releasing your arms in front of you, walking your fingertips forward and coming a little bit deeper. Again, checking in with yourself. Where are you at today? This is your opportunity to check in. And then slowly walk those hands back up to center. Plant your palms behind your hips, fingertips pointing forward. Press the soles of your feet together. And then inhale to lift those hips up into the air. Opening up through those hips. And then exhale to lower your hips down to the ground. Extend through your left leg. Bring your right foot to the inside of your left thigh. Inhale those arms up And then exhale to plant your left palm down, or your left forearm to the inside of your left leg. And then inhale to sweep your right arm up and over, reaching for those left toes. Really feeling that stretch through the right side body, coming all the way up from that right hip. Maybe eventually guiding your hand down to those toes. And then inhale to sweep yourself back up to center. Plant your right palm behind your right hip. And then sweep your left arm in front of you and all the way overhead, coming into a heart opening position here. Opening up through the front side of the body, opening up through those hips, pushing that pelvis forward. And then exhale to sweep those hands around to the front side of your body, come back up to center, and then slowly switch out your legs, bringing your left foot to the inside of your right thigh. Inhale, arms up. And then exhale to drop your right arm down to the inside of your right leg. And then reach your left arm overhead, planting evenly through both sit bones. Feeling that stretch from left hip to left fingertips. Noticing if one side of the body is holding more tension. Noticing if this is consistent. Again, letting every movement be intentional, be mindful, and be embodied, so you can fully tune in to your body in each posture. And then sweep those arms up to center. Plant your left palm behind your left hip. Sweep that right arm across your body and overhead, coming into that heart opener on the other side, reaching behind you. Maybe lifting your gaze up towards the ceiling, really pushing those hips forward. Enjoying the openness. Notice how your breath feels. And then exhale to slowly sweep your arms around to the front of your body. Bring those knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins and then pull your forehead towards your knees. Give yourself a big squeeze. And just a moment to check in here. How are you doing? And then plant your palms behind your hips. Once again, plant through the soles of your feet. And then lift your hips up into the air, coming into a reverse tabletop position. Pushing up with those hips, down with those shoulders. And then exhale to release your hips all the way down to the ground. Cross your ankles and roll over onto hands and knees, coming into a tabletop position here. Moving through some rounds of cat and cow. Inhaling to drop the belly and lift the chest. Exhaling to push the palms around the spine, tuck the chin. And I encourage you today to just go slowly, really enjoying every flexion of your muscles, of your joints, noticing every movement and appreciating every movement of your body. Few more rounds here. And one more cat. And then make your way back to neutral, extending long behind you with your right leg, planting down in those toes, and slowly starting to pulse on those right toes, really taking some time to feel into that calf. And then pausing at center, inhale, pull that leg up into the air, bring it across midline, plant it down on the left side. Take a look over your left shoulder, leaning into the right side body. And then bring your gaze back to neutral, pivot onto your left shin to parallel the front of the mat. Inhale to lift your right arm up into the air, coming into a supported side plank here. Lifting high with those fingertips. And then starting to make some big circles with that right arm. And then switching directions. And then pausing with that arm overhead, pop your left or your right leg up into the air, bend into that knee, squeeze the heel towards the glute and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend the leg long, bend it back. And then sweep your right arm behind you, grabbing onto that right ankle. On the next inhale, pull the heel away from the glute, lengthening through the front side of your body. Opening up through that hip. And then exhale to release the foot, release that hand, plant the foot back down onto the ground, and then sweep your arms around to the right side of your mat. Come to sit on both the knees, bringing them out a little bit wider than hip-width distance apart. Flex your feet, and then point your feet out to the outer or the respective front and back of your mat. Come down to your elbows. We're going to a frog posture here. And then slowly start to sit your hips back towards your heels until you start to feel that tension, that opening in your groin. And then just sit with that feeling, that discomfort. And then slowly start to sink into it. Can you go a little bit deeper? Breathing in and out of your nose. 3 more deep breaths. Close your eyes if you need to. Go into that internal space. And after your 3rd breath, walk your palms up to sit tall. Bring your knees together, and then bring your hands to the front of your mat and sweep your knees back out to your tabletop position. Pause here for a moment and just wiggle your hips from side to side, maybe giving them a little bit of a circle, isolating those hips, moving in one direction, and then switching directions. And then we'll pause at center here, extend your left leg back, landing on those toes, and start pulsing back and forth, feeling into your left calf, moving slowly. Really enjoying sensation, enjoying awareness. And then we'll pause at center here. Inhale to pop that leg up into the air, hold here. And then bring it all the way across midline, planting on those left toes and taking a look over your right shoulder. Leaning into your left side. Bring your gaze back to center, pivot onto that right shin so it parallels the front of your mat. Press into your right palm and inhale to lift your left arm up into the air. Hold here, feel that energy come up from the ground through your fingertips. And then start to make some big circles with that arm, moving in one direction and switching directions. And then pausing with your arm overhead, slowly start to pop that left leg up into the air and hold here. Slowly start to bend into that left knee and pull that heel towards your glute. We're going to hold like this, so really squeeze for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lengthen that leg long. Bend back into that knee. Reach behind you with your left arm, grabbing onto that ankle. On a breath in, start to bring your heel away from your glute and open up through the front side of your body. Really finding length on the left side. And then exhale to release that leg long, plant down on that foot, and then sweep your arms around to the long left edge of your mat, bringing your knees a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. Toes are pointing out and flex at 90-degree angles. Come down to your elbows here, and then slowly, when you found your foundation, start to push your hips back towards your heels, coming into our frog pose here. Bow your chin down towards the mat, letting go of your shoulders. Just noticing again what sensations arise here. Three more deep breaths. And then slowly start to push yourself back up to stand tall. Bring those knees together slowly. And then sweep your hands back around to the front of your mat, pivoting on your knees into your tabletop position. Roll your hips, isolate them, and then roll them in one direction. And switch directions. And then pause at center, tuck your toes under and send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a moment here to wiggle out your hips, maybe extending one heel and then the other towards the mat. Just taking time to check in with this position today. And then we'll inhale to lift our right leg up into the air, bend into that knee, and start to make some big knee circles on the right side. And switching directions. Extend that leg long, sweep it in front of your left leg, and then cross right ankle over top of left knee, pointing toes down towards the mat, almost like you're coming into a reclined pigeon posture. And then slowly start to walk those hands up to the back of your mat until you're leaning over your left leg. Start to bend into that left knee and feel the stretch through that right glute. You can use blocks to bring the ground up to here. Bend your left knee as much as you want. Flex into that right foot and point right knee out to right side. And then slowly start to walk your hands back out to your plank position. Turn onto the outside edge of your left foot. And then inhale to bring your right arm up into the air, pointing up with your right knee. And then slowly start to step behind your left leg with that right foot, stepping down and extending back into your wild thing. Slowly coming back into your side plank position, point right knee up towards the ceiling, and then turn into your full plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra up dog, and exhale back into your down dog, pausing here. Inhale, left leg rises, bend into that knee. Start to make some big circles on that left side. And then switching directions. And then extending that leg long, sweep it in front of the right leg, cross left ankle over right knee, almost like you're coming into your reclined pigeon. And then slowly walk those hands back up to meet your right foot. Lean down over your right leg. Start to bend into that right knee, pointing left knee out towards left side. Feeling a stretch through left glute. Breathing here. And then slowly walking your hands back out all the way into a plank position. Turn onto the outside edge of your right foot. Keep that left knee pointed up towards the ceiling. Inhale, left arm rises. Bring that knee up high. And then step behind your right leg with your left foot, extending back into your wild thing. And then make your way back into your side plank position and all the way into your regular plank. Exhale into your version of chaturanga. Inhale, cobra up dog. And exhale back into your down dog. Bend your knees a lot. Look forward between your hands. Hopper step to the front of your mat. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Bring your feet wide on the mat, heels in, toes out. Inhale those arms up, and then exhale to sink down into your mala squat, using your elbows to push out your knees at the bottom, sitting on a block if you require. And then plant your right palm down on the mat. Inhale, left arm rises. If it's for you, take the bind on the right side, opening up through that left shoulder, and bring your gaze up towards the ceiling. And then release that grip, plant down with your left palm. Inhale, right arm up towards the ceiling. And then taking the bind on the left side, opening up through the right shoulder if it's for you. Keeping those knees open by squeezing your glutes. And then exhale to release. Plant your palms behind your hips. Slowly sit back onto your bum. Straighten through both your legs. Toes point up towards the ceiling. Inhale, arms come up. And then exhale, fold forward, leading with your chest. And then land your hands down wherever they do. Inhale for a straight spine. And then exhale to start to fold into your back, tucking your forehead in towards your knees. Inhale to slowly lift all the way up, bend into those knees, grab behind your thighs, and slowly vertebrae by vertebrae roll down onto your spine, pulling your knees in into your chest at the bottom. Give yourself a big squeeze. And then rock from side to side, massaging out the back of your skull. Or the back, not the back of your skull, your low back. And then bring both of your feet up towards the ceiling, grab behind your thighs, and start to roll through those ankles, moving in one direction. And switching directions. Bend into those knees a lot, bringing them to the outer edge of your rib cage, and grab onto feet, ankle, or behind the knees for your happy baby. I encourage you to close your eyes here. Find that internal stillness, your center, and rest your attention there. Acknowledging thoughts as they come and go. Acknowledging sensations. Acknowledging the way that your body is feeling right now in this moment. And then taking a moment to honor any other movement that your body needs before the final relaxation. And then when you're ready, let your legs go long on your mat, toes pointing out, heels pointing in. Relaxing your calves, spiraling your thighs up towards the ceiling. Hips are heavy and planted, shimmying around, maybe readjusting to fully ground them here. Feeling the spine lifted and planted in all the natural places. Bringing your shoulders down and away from the ears, arms draping out by the sides, palms face up, fingertips curl slightly in. Letting go of your face, let the jaw go slack. Smooth the forehead and allow the eyes to rest heavy in their sockets as you prepare for total stillness. Finding stillness of the body that may translate to stillness of the mind. Knowing that for the next few moments, the only task is to breathe. There's nothing else to do, nowhere else to be. And so allow your breath to be your guide deeper into your relaxation and deeper into that internal world. Begin deepening through inhales and exhales. Nourishing your body with fresh air and allowing any stale air to exit. Bring movement into fingers and toes. And then wrists and ankles as we awaken our physical body. Bring soles of the feet in towards the mat and slowly windshield wiper your knees from side to side. And then slowly make your way onto your favorite side, resting your head onto your upper arm and tucking your knees in towards your chest. Another moment of stillness. And then slowly start to push yourself up into a comfortable seated position, hands up or down on the knees at the top. Roll your shoulders up by your ears and all the way down your spine, opening up through that heart space. We'll take our 2 cleansing breaths together here. So a deep breath in through your nose into the bottom of your belly, filling up your entire rib cage, and then holding. And then exhale for an audible sigh out of the mouth and let go. Deep breath in through your nose into the bottom of your belly, filling up your entire lung capacity, and then holding at the top. And then exhale, audible sigh and release. Inhale, bring your arms above your head. Exhale, hands come to heart center, bow your chin towards your chest. Taking a moment of gratitude for this practice of yoga and for our privilege to practice. And also gratitude for yourself for showing up and for giving yourself some self-care, for acknowledging your needs, and knowing that if we want to care for others, if we want to see change in the world, that it begins from within. Thank you for practicing with me, and I wish you a wonderful rest of your evening. Namaste. Thanks, Marsha.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of your evening. I'll see you soon.
Yes.
Stay cool. It's hot out there.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.